Welcome back to Phasmophobia. If you guys could like, comment, and or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you could do for the channel will help me put more back into the channel for you. All of that being said, today we're going to try to continue on with our little series. Let me see if I can open that up. I did not prepare this ahead of time. Whoops. Let's see, I need notepad. There we go. So yeah, we're trying to go through every ghost, look it up on the Wikipedia, and try to find its less than anecdotal information, and just, put it out there for everybody to see. We only have a handful left. I believe we have Yokai, Yurei, Onryo, Phantom, Shade, and Goryo. There's not very many left, so it's going to be kind of hard, so hopefully it won't take me too long to find one we haven't gotten before. Let me go back to the game now. Let's see, here we go. So we're going to be doing these on professional. That way we get all of the evidence and we get a crisp position. I think we're doing this on Tanglewood. That way we have kind of a standard map to work with. And yeah, goal is going to be get in there, find the ghost room, get the breaker turned on, get all the evidence from the ghost, so we can identify if it's even one of them that we've already done on our list, and then we'll go over to Wikipedia. So nothing to it but to do it. Let's do this. Alrighty, the corner dude over here shut up finally, so let's take a look. We're not actually going to be worrying about investigation. Since we are on professional, we get to see the breaker, and on Tanglewood there's only 2 locations. That means it's in the basement, so I will go screw myself. We do get our sanity and activity monitor, thankfully. Let's go ahead and get our stuffs, and let's see what I want to take in there. I want to take ultraviolet, thermal, and EMF. Definitely grab those out of order from what I said. I like EMF because it helps me identify what the ghost did and where, especially if it was touching that door, because like those doors, it could be hard to tell. Keep an ear out for the ghost room itself, that way I could quickly identify it, although we have the magic mirror, so that'll make easy work of that. Get down here and get the breaker turned on real quick. May end up just using the mirror right off the bat. Thermometer is a surefire way to identify the ghost room. However, it does take time for the ghost room to cool down since the beginning of the contract, especially once you activate the generator or breaker. That being said, there is a photo on the floor over here and it's a bit colder, so I could just start setting stuff up in here. I'm pretty confident it's it's making a mess in here. Wonderful piece of crap ghost. This is why we're over here trying to figure out what it is so somebody else can come in later and evict it. Alrighty. Got a notification on my phone, but it's not important. Awesome. That's a decent amount of activity right off the bat, and I was kind of close. There's some ghosts that behave differently if the player is near them. There's some ghosts that behave differently if it's at the beginning of the contract versus if you spend a lot of time in the room with the ghost. If I can even get a sentence out tonight. Sorry for the lack of stream on Saturday. Had to go and build a garage door. It was not fun. Let's see what we have for evidence. I am not... Oh, wait, is that Ghost Orbs? No, that is Ghost Orbs. Yep. Right. Where's Ghost Orbs put us with all this? Let me take a look at my list real quick over here. Let's see, we need Yokai and Yurei. That works. We also need Phantom, Shade, and Goryo. That doesn't work. So let's hope for a Yokai or a Yurei. Get these guys put down over here-ish. This is probably a good spot for this. Yeah, look at that dodge coverage. That's perfect. Let's go grab more equipment. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. It's definitely coming pretty close to an end here. I think I set the end date for the channel on, I think it was like November 8th, or maybe it was the day afterwards, because the 8th is like a Thursday or Friday, so I'm planning on doing like a stream or something for that following Saturday, but after that, no more channel. I don't need any of the rest of this stuff. I will grab salt. That could actually help me quickly identify whether or not it is ultraviolet, rather than having to wait for the ghost to touch a door or anything that would leave ultraviolet as evidence. I can place a salt and have the ghost walk through it. Plenty of range here. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Definitely no ultraviolet. Since we are on professional, we can mark off ultraviolet, which is good. We still have yokai and Yurei. Let's go ahead and check our thermals here. See where we're at. Definitely not getting spirit box, which I believe is bad for yokai. We're not getting freezing, which I believe is bad for Yurei. We're definitely not getting writing. No spirit box. Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Alright, we're not getting spirit box. That works. Alright, so no spirit box, no ghost writing, no ultraviolet. I'm not going to rule out freezing temps quite yet, but I do believe at this point we do have a Raichu. They will... That dick. They will both have dots. That's just a Raichu will have EMF 5 and a Yurei will have freezing. At this point, we kind of just need to wait for it to do something that would give us that evidence. As long as the ghost remains in this room, it will continue to drop the temperatures if it's a freezing temps ghost. Otherwise, this is about where it's going to remain. And that kind of seems to be the case. That said, it's not really doing a whole lot else otherwise. Now, if it is a Yurei, I do believe there is a unique trait of it that I can showcase here before we read the Wikipedia. Essentially, if you instance a Yurei hunting or not, after a hunt, or if it's not hunting and it's already in the room or whatnot, it will kind of be locked in its room, I believe only for about 30 seconds, so won't be a lot, but in this case it will keep it from roaming excessively. So I can actually instance, set a 30-second timer, and then at 29 seconds or whatnot be ready to instance again. That setting my timer. So now the ghost is going to, if it is a Yurei, is going to be stuck in its room and will continue to decrease the temperatures. If it's only ever if it's a Yurei is this an effective way to force it to give you freezing. Yeah, just getting pretty close a few times. We're at 19 seconds on the timer. That's technically freezing. We might have one. I might have been able to get lucky with this again. It's technically freezing again. There's that. This would be crazy if this actually works. It might. Oh yeah, there's freezing temps. We do have a Yurei. It doesn't want to stay freezing though. This ghost really wants to leave the room, but I am forcing it to stay. There's negatives. Yep. Awesome. Wow. That it only cost, I mean only, but it cost 2 smudges and I was able to force it in there. So now we're going to go and read up on the Wikipedia, and I might complete a lottery later because those are some pretty terrible odds of me actually getting a ghost that I hadn't already gotten before. Let's go ahead and pop in the back of the truck over here. Let me pull up the wiki, which I have not done anything for yet. I'm terrible about not setting these up proper. Oh, nope, that's the wrong button. Let's see. Ghost Wikipedia. And we want over here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark off Yurei. Nice. Make sure we save that. Kind of curious what all you guys could see. Had other stuff open in there. That should have been enough time. Opera Ghost, please. Opera Ghost. There we go. Alright, so this is Wikipedia. I'll link the exact page in the description of the video below, so you guys can use it, and I believe they're pretty good about updating this. So yeah, this is the main page over here. After you click on ghosts, scroll down here, you can go to number 3, which is types of ghosts. Select that. This chart is set up exactly like the journal in the game, so we need a Yurei, which we have identified as having ghost orbs, freezing temps, and although we haven't technically seen dots, it literally can't be anything else. We also were able to more or less confirm. Yeah, there's a lot of ads on here, sorry. We were more or less able to confirm it by witnessing evidence that it threw away or exclusively did not give when it was more or less forced to give us that evidence. So Yurei is a ghost that has returned to the physical world. I'm pretty sure all ghosts are ghosts that have returned to the physical world, usually for the purpose of revenge or hatred. The Yurei is a type of ghost of Phasmophobia. They literally all say that, and I don't know why. Although it does not have any implicit bonuses to its ability to hunt, its main distinction is its ability to quickly drain sanity. If players are careless, it may become aggressive quicker than anticipated. Its ability is it may randomly shut a door and deduct nearby players' sanity, and weaknesses is it will be temporarily confined to its room after smudging, which we have already taken advantage and showcase that. Activity, which is going to go over this again, I'm pretty sure right now. When incense is used on the Yurei, in addition to preventing a hunt from temporarily increasing activity, it will return to its favorite room and be trapped within it for 90 seconds, not 30. Okay, so that's my anecdotal that was getting in the way there. So I completely wasted an incense. Stopping it from roaming through the location. I can still leave that room by performing a ghost event, but it will return once the event ends and probably, remain there for the rest of its time. If the Yurei is affected by incense during a hunt, it will only be trapped in its favorite room after the hunt ends for the remaining time of the cleansing effect. So if you smudge it during a hunt, and then 15 seconds later the hunt ends and the ghost goes back to its room, then brain's dying. Then it's going to only have what would that be, 75 seconds? Yeah. Outside of its ability, the Yurei doesn't have an increased chance to interact with doors. When interacting with a door, the Yurei cannot slightly move it, and it can only when interacting with a door, the Yurei cannot slightly move it and can only either close it completely or open it completely. This does not apply to hunts. Ability. Sorry, I'm getting spam text messages. When choosing to use its ability, the Yurei, I think that's specifically its ability, because I've seen a Yurei just, nudge a door. When choosing to use this ability, the Yurei will first check if its current room has an open door. Doors that count for this ability are mostly room doors as well as exit doors, large tent doors on campsites, dining room cabinet doors, and living room game room fireplace doors on Point Hope, and washing machine doors on Sunny Meadows. Those are some I did not know about. Hiding spot doors, however, do not count for its ability. That's good to know. I think I've misidentified some Yureis because of that, or got wrong based off of that. If the check is successful, the following is caused. All players within a 7.5 meter range of the ghost will have their sanity decreased by 15%. So if some of you got a truck princess and they notice that everybody's sanity just dropped by 15% and there wasn't an event or anything, then you're pretty well set it's a Yurei. Outside the investigation area will not be affected by sanity drain, so if it's like the front door and you're outside, you're fine. Which is something that it should also be talking about here soon. The ghost will randomly select one open door in the room and close it fully in a gentle way as opposed to a strong slam. This in turn produces an EMF 2 interaction on that door. All ghosts can shut a door in the same way the Yurei can. However, the Yurei will do this much more frequently as it's connected to its sanity drain ability. Large tent doors will not fully close. That's an interesting one. Strengths, weaknesses, strategies. So there's some things that they're kind of missing from here, and I don't think I'll be able to really showcase them. Let me go ahead and close that window so I stop draining my PC's abilities. So what we call it is a double door touch when it uses its ability, and we call it that because you will literally see 2 EMF signatures on that door, which unfortunately you can only really tell with the EMF 3 or EMF 2 or 3. So yeah, if you walk up to a door and it's either just fully opened itself or fully closed itself, You can also sometimes hear two interactions on that door, and you can check it with the EMF to see that there is two interactions on that door. And that's why you'll hear people talking about a double door touch and then immediately followed up with Yurei. Was there anything else I was trying to think of? Yeah, they didn't mention it. Yurei is the only ghost outside of a ghost event for mini ghost that can use its ability on the front door. I believe if it's touching the front door in any capacity and it's not a ghost event, then it is always a Yurei, or mimicking a Yurei. Getting the ghost to actually do that ability is next to impossible. I mean, definitely willing to go in there and try, but it's almost definitely not going to happen. Never say never though, right? Turned on a sink, turned off the breaker again. Dude really wants me to lose my mind. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. That is a pretty nifty trick that you could do that I just showcased. That does only apply to the Yurei. Let me go ahead and turn this off. Well, he's kind of been in here and everywhere. I think he's over here right now. He's no longer over in this location. Yes, that is correct. So, I mean, we could just kind of sit here and wait for it to do a double door touch. That might take a minute. I'll probably just sit here and wait for it to do one, and then cut the rest of this part out of the video. Alrighty, so I gave that like probably almost 15-20 minutes. It never wanted to do anything. It tried to hunt once. I had to boost up my sanity, waited a bit longer. It's not worth it to keep trying. That should be a Yurei, as we do have all the evidence. Yeah, I forgot to mark down freezing temps. I did see dots a few times as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you could like, comment, and or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you could do for the channel does help me put more back into the channel for you. All that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.